Now for allies. Of course, many games have sort of these in-game companions, like this example right here from Gears of War, and that's sort of not. Those are an example of allies, but it's not quite in the same context that I'm talking about. How do we use shapes as allies? So, example we have here in our combat sort of situation. What are your allies here? And the allies are the things that you can use against the enemies. These are your affordances, your opportunities, your cover. The difference between low cover and high cover, those are each your different type of allies. How the cover sort of connects. How you can use the environment against the enemy is you're using the help of the environment is your ally in this case. Refuge spaces right here. These are allies. Backboards. Putting your back up against something that you trust is you're relying on a shape in the environment to help you through the situation. And the same thing goes for these screens, blocking you, keeping you sort of in these refuge spaces. Other affordances such as ladders or stairs, handholds, things that speak to you as the player as you move through the space and say, hey, this allows you to get to a higher ground. This allows you to get to your goal. These things exist to help you. And so you need to learn who your friends are, what shapes help you, what shapes you can use in order to accomplish your goals. Another form of allies in our spaces are what I'd call like benign human presence. So a case right here of there's not other human beings around, but there's this bench here. If this was in a game, and I saw this bench, it doesn't really have any gameplay purpose to me. It doesn't even act as cover very well because the enemy could probably shoot right through it. But what this tells me is that I guess it tells me that I'm not alone in the world. That there's other human beings here, and there's just a sense of belonging here. There's a comfort that comes with the fact that living human beings once were at this spot and used it like normal human beings would. Maybe it's not a great example here at the bench, but I'll sort of show you as we sort of move forward here. So here in this sort of town, we have some refuge spaces. We've got some cover objects. Then as I sort of like move inside, here we have some of this, what I'm talking about, benign human presence. People used to live here, and they don't anymore. I guess this town is abandoned, but this sort of gives a sense that you're in a friendly space, I guess. And then, of course, here's the affordance of this stair that gets us to the roof. So this is almost kind of like a character here, giving us a nice boost onto the rooftop. It gives us the affordance of being able to get up there. So here's a case where, I use a risky jump right here. I have a, a jump that gets you to the next area. And when I first designed this spot, I had some trouble with this looking like it was actually the intended space that I wanted you to go in, because the trouble is, once I put the columns and stuff like that in, it felt a lot more like a space where I can stand. So if you see a space that has a chair sitting over here, it tells the player that that is a space where human beings can exist, where they're allowed to exist. If you see a space here with columns, it communicates to the player, or could communicate to the player, that this is a space that was intended as a space to exist in. So this is how I feel like, just very subtly trying to clue in the player that, hey, your friends are over here. You can come over here too. So in that way, I reassure the player in the rightness of their choice to jump over to that space. So next,